Warning: the camera recording this video cuts out multiple times, losing valuable footage forever. Luckily, Joe Cruz is a genius and had a backup camera running the whole time, just in case. Sorry for the convenience. Enjoy!
Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally.
Unique New York Swiss wristwatch.
Please excuse
Irish
my
wristwatch.
dear Aunt Sally.
Irish wristwatch.
Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally is just
Just a regular sentence.
that's just
Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally.
That's the order of operations. That's not even a tongue twister.
No. Someone's
up pretty
aunt
well.
was on set making a damn fool of themselves. And they're like, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally.
Please
get her out of here.
Please excuse her.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, hello. Welcome back to a very special episode on Joe, where we don't even have the other Joe here. Screw that guy. This is a one-time special edition post-Super Bowl podcast that we're... So in the Super Bowl, Dalton, there were two brothers. I don't know if you knew about this.
I did hear about this. The
Kelce Brothers, Jason Kelce playing center for the Eagles, and Travis Kelce playing tight end for the
Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh yeah, that's what their name is. They have a great podcast, #1 sports podcast in the nation right now, New Heights, where they go over each game they both had, and then just a bunch of other fun stuff throughout. But they are not the first ones to have the Brother Bowl for the Super Bowl. This is where we got the idea. This is from almost a decade ago. We have our very own Super Bro, which I thought was a much better than a Brother Bowl.
Way catchier.
So yes, we are now ready to begin the new podcast. Probably will take #1 sports podcast in the nation by storm, just like New Heights. This is your podcast, New Lows. But before we go any further, this podcast is being brought to you by Acres Ale, an authentic American beer brewed with Nebraska-grown corn. Acres Ale is a crisp and clean ale with a light, refreshing flavor. And it's available in 12 packs and now Tall Boys. Boom. Some tall boys for some
tall boys.
Hey, yeah, no, I drink this quite often. So we do want to thank Zipline Brewing for providing our Acres Ale today.
Thank you, Zipline.
Oh my goodness. It is so darn good.
It is a great beer.
Dalton, we are now going to go over we're going to follow the Kelce's New Heights order of operation. So next up we have new news! But because we don't want to get sued by Jason and Travis, we're going to call it old news.
Old news.
So do we have any old news other than that the Eagles lost the Super Bowl?
You know, the Eagles lost. They went out there and they just lost it. You know, they just did nothing good. A bunch of, I would like to say inexperience. Yeah, personally.
On each and every player?
On each and every single player of the Eagles. I just can't express how terrible they are.
Okay, moving on. Any more old news?
Old news. Let's see. Old news.
I'll tell you what. Here's some old news. I had some pregame predictions, at least for the score, that I thought I was right on the money. I thought it was going to be 28-14 Eagles. They swept the other two games in the playoffs, and I didn't see them stopping anytime soon for Kansas City. Little did I know, really was not the case. Kansas City came very prepared, and my smile slowly started frowning all the way, right from the first kickoff all the way to the last throw. And it was a little rough. So what I think we'll do here is we'll just do a recap of the entire game of the major points, and we can, if you have anything to say about it, we'll just say, what our thoughts were. Another reason why we're doing this podcast, I think, is going to be a good way for me to cope, to finally get through it. It's exactly 1 week after the Super Bowl. In fact, we'd be about 2 hours away from kickoff if it was last Sunday.
Man.
So
if only we could go back and know what we didn't know now.
Oh man,
that was a time to be alive.
I was vibrating. I went to Hy-Vee. I got some Acres Ale for for the game, and I came back, and the kids were well behaved for the first time in their lives, and we had a nice
stars
setup.
were aligning.
It was great. Yeah, we had a nice setup here. I pulled out as much Eagles memorabilia, displayed it on the table, put some shot glasses there. It was time to party. Who was in attendance? You came over. You were there on the first ones.
Little Joe was there. Summer.
Yep.
Chris and Whitney.
Chris and Whitney showed up. Matt and Cassie were there.
Chaz was fantastic to see Chaz.
Yeah, it's been a while since I saw him. Yep. Dad showed up.
Dad was there. He was.
Mom chose to stay home for some reason.
She wanted to be able to watch the game. I think she was afraid of seeing how you might react.
Probably worried about me, yeah.
And just didn't want to be there when you're at your lowest.
I think she was actually cheering for the Kansas City Chiefs.
I know for a fact
she's a sucker for Mahomes.
Yep.
So
yeah, she was probably telephoning Brett down the street, and all right, go Chiefs. Yeah, the balloons there. The balloons were a nice touch, and that just fell in line.
Yeah, those balloons didn't have a great ending, but they had a good start, and they really tied the room together.
I was a little nervous watching that video of you.
Slip and hit the TV, right?
Hit the TV, hit his hand. That would have been the worst. But it would have really only been that much closer of you getting to be that much more of a hardcore Eagles fan.
Yeah,
to go to the emergency room.
That's true. I wonder how many Eagles jerseys were in the emergency room that night.
More than KC, that's for sure.
Didn't get to climb my pole that my daughter's greased up to keep me off of it.
Nope.
Let's see, what else? We had a nice little setup. People were showing up. It was time to go. Oh, that's what I was going to say. My kids, I wanted Cosette to draw a nice eagle decorated marker board, but then Theo just goes against the Eagles every time. It doesn't matter who we're playing. It started with the Jaguars once, and Jaguars are a cool cat. I don't blame them. And then it's like, oh, there's another big cat. Yeah, the Bengals. All right. Oh, the Panthers. Okay. Sure enough, it doesn't matter who's playing the Eagles. He's going against them.
Yep.
So he had the idea of putting Eagles logo, KC logo, and then have people sign where they're favoring. And I thought that was a great idea. So keeping in, good sportsmanship, trying to teach my damn kids about stuff like that, I had to swallow my pride and say, okay, that's a great idea. And it was. And turns out we had, we had Dad, right? Mm-hmm. Chiefs.
I think it was just me, Theo, and Dad.
You, Dad, and Theo. So the other three boys in the family going against me.
Which, hindsight, I do apologize for going for the Chiefs. I remember in the playoff games when you helped me cheer on the Cowboys, and
that's right.
I feel like I might have had a part of you guys losing because I just wasn't that brotherly love I should have been. But I'm also going to push that blame off on you too, because you guys are the city of brotherly love, and I guess you didn't train me good. Right? Is that Philadelphia?
Yeah, that's Philadelphia.
Just making sure.
City of brotherly love.
Yeah.
That hates everyone that they talk to, and so.
What? I love you. Get over here.
Oh, we had some good food too. My wife made some meatballs, some beanie weenies. We had some good, some sort of whatever
egg roll or
whatever Whitney and Chris brought. Yeah. I think I got sick from that later. It might have been sitting out too long. But no, we had a great setup. It was awesome.
Oh yeah.
Moving on, we're gonna go ahead and recap the game. All right, so the Eagles I assume Kansas City won. That's another thing. Yes. Kansas City won the flip, which is now the first game in 15 years to have won the flip and the Super Bowl. So that already started off strong for me. I was really like, there it is, set in stone. We're gonna win.
Yep. You have all the predictions earlier that week, and then the script or whatever coming out.
I'm still mad about the predictions. I don't know why now they chose the Eagles. ESPN, NFL, they love the Chiefs. They love Mahomes like he's the next Jesus. And out of nowhere, now the Eagles are favored. We play strong being the underdog every time. With people like not. What's the damn word I'm looking for?
No clue.
Compensating, undercompensating, not giving us
Yes,
enough credit.
absolutely.
And now they strip that away from us and give it to Mahomes.
And the most important part that really played a factor in what was only talked about after is Andy Reid's coaching ability, his experience, and that's what it comes down to for a Super Bowl win.
And that's
So that
really
wasn't
what it
talked
was,
about
yeah.
like at all the week prior, which I was kind of like taken off from that. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it was a little bit of tomfoolery tricking those Eagles, making them get too confident.
I was 100% sure we'd be winning all the way from the playoffs.
Yep.
As soon as we clinched that home field and the division leader for the bye week, I knew we were going to win.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt that all the way up to one point of the game. I'll let you know when it was. But all right, so we can recap the game here. Eagles receive the kickoff, and they make their way first drive. Boom, touchdown, Eagles. 7-0. Fantastic drive. Right there, I knew, like, this is exactly what I was expecting. Nothing to worry about here.
Yep.
Chiefs can't stop them.
Yeah. That whole line.
Very easy.
Holy cow.
Then KC gets it back, and they also return with another touchdown to tie the game 7-7, which I was still okay with. I predicted they'd be scoring 14 points, so I knew they were going to get on the board. No problem. Then Eagles do have to punt their next possession, which ends and then we end the first quarter with the Kansas City getting up to the field goal and missing. And holy crap.
Missing.
It banged right off of that upright. We should look up the stats on how many Super Bowls have missed kicks that hit the uprights. Because that was very entertaining.
Yeah. I can't say how nice that was for me, you know. Just for my kicker, just like it happens. Hey, at least you weren't at the Super Bowl.
I was hoping that he would be missing everyone after that too.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're going to start the second quarter. Eagles open up with an insane bomb throw. It was like a 70-yard, 80-yard touchdown pass. Just lit us up. Like, everyone's like, this is it. This is, again, they can't stop us, and we can still make these plays. Just jaw-dropping performance there.
Yeah, you know, it's just these guys came to play. They're doing it. They're confident. Everything's falling in line.
And then even after that, KC has to punt. So we're still stopping them, showing our power. And then the worst thing in the world happened. My God, my gut just, it's like I watched someone get stabbed right in front of me. Hurts pulls out of the pocket and just drops the football.
Within transition. Through his fingers.
No one around him, no one swatting, just no pressure, just missed his own hand, and it was devastating. They immediately, three of the linemen, Kansas City pick it up. So they have blocking, and they were gone. They didn't even need a block because they were just so fast to get out of there, which ties up the game 14-14. Oh, that one hurt. That was a swift kick in the nuts is what it was.
It would be interesting to be in the stadium when that happens.
And just hear that. Oh,
yes. Just the drop. And then, of course,
fall immediately by the
3, 2, 1 uproar by KC. And because that was a momentum change that you did not think was going to happen. Yeah,
and especially for it to not just be a fumble, to be a touchdown fumble too. Like, you know. So Hurts fumbles, but then here's what's great about Hurts. He doesn't like dwell over it. He picks himself right back up, and then on the fourth down and 5, he runs for a first down, not just getting the first down, picking up about 25 yards on the whole thing, just really showing his athleticism and saying, hey, we're still in this. Shake it off, boys. Let's go.
Goldfish.
Yeah, it was awesome. And then that led to another touchdown, him rushing it in for another touchdown, making it 21-14, taking the lead back, a whole touchdown ahead. Feeling pretty good again. So my my attitude is like, okay, this is perfect. Just hold the KC the rest of the game and score one more touchdown will be my game-winning prediction. Yep. So I'm like, this is perfect. All right, they needed to get that fumble because they're not going to get another chance to score a touchdown. And then right after this, Mahomes, we're just before getting into the end of the second quarter. Mahomes scrambles, tackle him, hurt his ankle.
Yep.
I'm like, finally, we're touching him. And finally, like, we're giving him a little pain. I don't want him to break his ankle or anything, just enough to take him out of the game. Hell yeah.
Just to remind him he's human.
And my boss, Matt, said that was actually probably the worst thing that happened to Eagles because then it kept Mahomes from running and he had to start throwing a whole lot more. So maybe it wasn't bad news after all, but it felt really good to watch happen and to kind of shut that little Kermit the Frog up.
Oh, those videos that they dub Kermit's voice over him.
It's true.
I love them. I love them.
Well, they need to do them where guess if it's him or Kermit.
Line up the different scenarios.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Same with the one you sent me yesterday where he's talking about his celebration and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, we had this year with some chili wings. We had Andy Reid over here. And then it cuts right to Kenny Powers. Like,
Kenny
Powers. Oh, yeah, we're kicking that guy's ass, We had some chili dogs over here.
We had them catering some chili dogs. They were delicious, nice and spicy. Woo! And then I had a little bit of Acres Ale to wash it down.
That's right. Very funny. Anyway, so they do stop Mahomes. They forced a punt. And then the Eagles get within field goal territory. They kick the field goal, making it 24-14, ending the first half. Any other thoughts on the first half? Eagles get really high and mighty.
Yep.
Ending on a big note to just another nail in the coffin, go off and start celebrating halftime.
Absolutely. Had a little hiccup there with the fumble, but then the mental strength of Hurts of just not dwelling on that, getting back on track, and then allowing, to finish off the second half or the first half. Well,
pretty solid. Halftime show. Thoughts on Rihanna?
I mean, how do you even want to go into that? You've got so many people talking about so many different things, whether it was good, bad, this and that. The biggest thing I want to touch base on is, like OSHA requirements, okay? These are things that I have to deal with on a daily basis, but no. You could see that there were cables and carabiners and everything hooking them in, like some of those dancers, her included, like they couldn't lean forward because they're being held to that platform.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's classic. Everybody's going to... How high up she was, and
saying like it's dangerous because she's pregnant on this day. Well, yeah, she's secured, she's tethered in, and I saw another video of one of the dancers slipping, and they're like, "Oh my god, they almost fell off!" Like, no, they were tethered, so no worries there.
Yep.
I was a little disappointed. Like, to me, it was a little underwhelming for Rihanna. Just costumes aside, she didn't bring in a special guest, and there wasn't any like change, stage change other than like raising her really high and really low. Say what you will about the costumes. I mean, they're kind of fun, but you have all these world-class dancers and you can't even see their bodies dance. They're all covered up in this marshmallow goo, and Rihanna looked fine in her big red, poncho sleeping bag thing, but I do wish like she would have given us a heads up like she was pregnant. I mean, it's one way. It's really fun to like announce your pregnancy in front of the whole 100 million people of the Super Bowl, but I didn't know she was pregnant. Like, did she just have a baby, or like is she just putting on things? I don't want to like body shame or anything.
Exactly.
So I don't follow her personally.
Kind of fishing, because there are a lot of women that she had her baby like 3 months ago, and there's a lot of women that it's very hard to get that baby weight off. And you could look.
She did have a baby 3 months ago.
Yeah, 3 months ago.
So it was baby weight still.
It could be. I mean, I don't know if they've ever made it.
I thought she was saying she was announcing that she's.
So when she did this whole thing, Kelce's like, "That's her announcement. That's it. She just announced that she's pregnant."
woman to woman.
Woman to woman. And my wife is the smartest as they come. So,
Because I agree. I thought she just had the baby like within this year.
Yes.
So I didn't think she was
It
pregnant.
was very soon.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm assuming that it was just an absolute announcement because, the whole fishing of like someone saying that she's pregnant and then, it could just be a butt face. I'm actually just.
And what if she's just feeling sexy? Hey, boys.
Yeah.
So I indicate if I drank too much beer or I'm trying to tell Lexi it's time to party.
The other day, she's got the microphone in her ear, like, Rihanna, you're on.
Yeah, we can see you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're in
that chili
public.
dog. Oh, now that tailgate.
We're going to take a little break. I want to make sure my camera's still recording. Acres Ale.
Acres Ale. Just as our customers associate the Acres name with quality in the field, we want them to look for Acres Ale when it's time to wind down and know they're getting a great American beer brewed with them in mind. Acres Ale. Now available in tall boys.
And we're back. If you're just joining us, Dalton and I are doing a podcast of new lows where we're recapping the Super Bowl against the Philadelphia Eagles and Kansas City Chiefs. We have just reviewed up to halftime through Rihanna's performance. I also wanted Pond on Replay and Please Don't Stop the Music, and she did not deliver those. She did do Where Have You Been All My Life? I'm Finding Love, something like that.
Yep.
Now That We Found Love. That's a different song.
That is a different song and a different
Now
artist.
that we
right?
found love.
What is it to do?
She should have done that one.
Yeah.
Well, see, that could have been her. That could have been her. Her special guest.
So my brother-in-law Bob, shout out Bob, how you doing, big guy? Was watching it, and I couldn't help but notice how frazzled he was that he wasn't noticing anyone else come out. A song would come out and go, oh my God, Eminem! Is it Eminem? Eminem's coming? Oh, not Eminem. Oh, dang it, he didn't come out. Oh my God.
Just a bunch of staples.
Kanye West. Oh, someone's coming out. And
why would he even assume it's Kanye?
I don't know, but I'm guessing he placed a bet that there would be a special guest.
There always is. To me, that's a very safe bet.
I would argue
the person
that
who
this special
doesn't
guest, though, would be her new baby.
Oh.
Yeah, so he could actually reach back out to his bookie and say, hey, there was a special guest.
Oh.
This was him waving right there.
Yeah. His sister said so. That's it.
Yeah. That's right.
Excuse me. Oh, my goodness.
Oh. Acres Ale.
It's that Nebraska corn that makes me burp. Starting the third quarter. Third quarter was very uneventful. I don't know if you reviewed and noticed, but I was taking my notes. Two things happened. That's it. Kansas City led a 10-play drive for a touchdown, making it 24-21 Eagles. And then the Eagles couldn't put anything together. They had to settle for a field goal, 27-21. So Eagles still keeping a demanding lead of a field goal and a touchdown. I'm sorry, 2 field goals, so 6 points. Going back to my hosting party, you left at some point during the game.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes. So I had prior engagements, which was planned before we knew the Eagles was going to be in the Super Bowl.
Eagles are always in the Super Bowl.
Going over to Kelce's uncle's house. So yeah, I left about halftime, and before halftime, because I was able to see Rihanna.
Okay.
Out there.
You watch that here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So cleared that up. The people know where we were.
So at this time, everything I say is going to be new to Dalton.
Yes.
That he didn't experience with me. And I'm going to put this out. He blamed me earlier for, not distilling some sort of brotherly love shit. Eagles started losing as soon as he left. So I blame Dalton for not being my good luck token. And he's going to have to watch every Eagles Super Bowl with me here. So
Yep, I'll take that. I will own that.
Okay. So that ends third quarter. Fourth quarter starts off strong. Kansas City touchdown. Kansas City takes the lead, 27-28.
Yep.
This is the first time in the game that I felt like, this might not end up.
Yeah.
The way. Like even with Kansas
You
City
feel
scoring,
that momentum changing.
Yeah. The full hard game momentum shifting to saying like it's coming out of my fingers, my grasp. I can't control this anymore. Yeah, that was the first time once when they had it was just the 1 point lead, but that's when I felt something was going wrong. Next possession, Eagles are forced to punt. After that, Kansas City, my God, this was like the third gut, like, and I probably had 5 or 6, most of them in the fourth quarter. Kansas City runs a punt 75 yards back.
Yes.
Putting them right there on the 20.
Longest punt return
in the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl. Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe it. And the guy was right there with 3 giant eagles in front of him. And one guy just misses. The other 2 weren't even moving.
No.
I rewatched this like 6 times. I don't know what they were thinking.
Just
like
in
it was
disbelief.
They kind of like stopped to like corral him, and he just went the other way. Like, didn't you think that could fucking happen? Like,
no. They never got that far in their training.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
and he'll run to you.
Something else though, and I know it affected both, and I don't think anyone's done like a study yet. That field was terrible. What the hell, Cardinals? Like slip and slide everywhere.
Yeah.
Might as well be playing on mud.
So that's the interesting thing too, is they're really pushing to get rid of turf and get rid of artificial and have real turf everywhere. Well, that's what the future of football will be if it's only turf everywhere.
Well, I mean that's fine if it's every stadium.
Yep, and then that's across the board.
So it's consistent every time. These teams are playing on artificial turfs, and then they go out there. I know you get it tested out in pregame practice, but that's not nearly
because you're not going full speed.
No,
and
that's even more dangerous to me than someone getting an infection because the ground's dirty.
Yeah,
like any one of those guys could have buckled a knee at any moment. Anyway, moving on to this stupid game. I forgot we have to go through the rest of this. So they have the great return, which leads Kansas City for a touchdown. Oh, these next 2 touchdowns just sucked. They were fake plays to lure that safety and defender away, and they just, here's a wide open guy and only had to go 5 yards, both sides, back to back.
Yep.
It was rough. So now Kansas City leads 35-27. Getting down to the wire. I forgot how much time's left, but we're within the 5-minute mark here. Hurts gets the ball back, throws another bomb of a play all the way down to the 2-yard line, which puts them into range. They get another touchdown. I believe Hurts rushes this one in to make it 33-35. They go for the 2-point conversion. They get it. Tie ball game.
Boom.
Fourth quarter, Super Bowl 57.
Bringing it back.
Amazing. Like, this is probably one of the most electric and exciting Super Bowls of, the last decade.
Since we've been adults.
Yeah. To put the game that close right at the end, like, oh gosh. I almost might start crying. Just thinking, like, I know we're gonna lose, but man, we had it right there. We never gave up. Like, it's so cool. And then Mr. Patrick Mahomes, I just want to strangle this guy at this moment. He runs for this might have even been like a 3rd-yard play or a 3rd down play. Runs for 27 yards. Yep. No one can touch him.
Nope.
I didn't mention this earlier. I think he's faking every one of these damn ankle injuries. He's like, it hurts.
Yeah.
And no, he's just throwing us off.
I think so.
Throwing us off every time. I'm never going to believe him.
Yep. Because they say high ankle sprain, so it was a high ankle sprain 4 weeks prior to the Super Bowl. Generally, it's going to take someone 6 weeks to recover from that. And he had been playing on it since it. So it's not like, oh, well, it's 4 weeks of, rested and, he's been doing PT here and there. So, yeah, I am. I'm definitely on that boat. Where
he's like, they just said, hey, tell them it was a high ankle sprain.
It's the classic. Yeah. It's the classic 90s high school sitcom of, oh, well, you heard the opposing team, their running back's out. He got the flu. He's not playing.
We have a chance to win this.
We're gonna win it, and then
we're gonna slow down our practice.
Oh, well, that running back's not sick at all.
Nope. In fact, he's on steroids and now twice as strong. So anyway, this liar runs for 27 yards, and then Kansas City stalls like little wimps, stalling 2 or 3 plays. Just setting up, just drawing the timeout to set up for their final field goal. Yeah. To be honest, I think the refs really should have thrown a flag here, and they didn't. Unsportsmanlike conduct. They should have thrown it when they're just not even taking their knee right away. Unsportsmanlike. You got to have the Olympic spirit. Am I going to tell you got to give the other guy a chance? If you want to fight for it, you fight for it. Yeah. And then he slides and everyone's praising him. He could have gotten a touchdown in the Super Bowl, but he did it for the team. Yeah, because he was scared. That's why. He's not a hero. You quote me on that one. Unsportsmanlike conduct, scared wimps. That's what I say. Mahomes, my house address is 11. My work address is 2432
Come buy
North
some
12th
shirts,
Street.
dang it.
I'll make you a shirt you won't regret.
It
was frustrating.
It was weird because it left me.
And why wouldn't you? If you can get points, why wouldn't you get points?
Yeah.
But again, the Eagles would have got it back, scored the touchdown, went for 2, got it. Yep. Eagles win. So
yeah,
I guess Andy Reid was scared but smart.
Yeah, and I will say it's those strategic things in sports, whether it's football or any other sport, that it does frustrate me. I wish that they would just play. I wish, you wouldn't have to, because technically, it's all within the rules. Everything's fine with doing that and it's part of the strategy, but I think it's a cop-out.
Yeah.
I think it's a cop-out.
Yeah.
And so how'd you end up winning? What were the final plays?
You're gonna love this. We nailed it 3 times, and then
really? So did you blow someone over? Did you run them over?
Did you make no? We did almost score a touchdown, but we decided to go down instead, and then we just chipped a little field goal in. Like it was the easiest play in the world. Wasn't super easy, fairly inconvenience.
Yes. Oh. Whatever.
I guess it was risky since he missed one earlier. Oh God! What if someone got up there and swatted that?
That would have been sweet.
Oh my God!
You'd love to see it. You'd love to see it.
All right. So Kansas City kicks the field goal, practically sealing the final score of 38-35. We do get one more play, and it looks like we put your quarterback Dak in there because he just like
it was a classic
Dak. So it looked, watching it full speed. I think that just stopped.
I think it did.
All right, let's should we go check that out?
Let's check.
We'll take our near the end break here for just one moment. All right, sorry for technical difficulties. Oh shoot! I just saw that I have a little halo from my ring light above me.
Halo. Is that a Rihanna song?
No, that's Beyonce.
The Halo?
Yeah, it's great. Oh, there's a new argument. Let me retake that. There's a new argument on the line. If Rihanna's better than Beyonce.
Oh, absolutely.
You think Rihanna's better than Beyonce?
I think they're both garbage. Well, there are some guys that I'm sure drive around and just really vibe out to some women artists, but it's hard for me to
Beyonce is
listen to any of their stuff and say,
she's Queen Bee.
Relating to this so much right now.
All right, I don't think you understand the question. I definitely like a lot more of Beyonce's music package than Rihanna has. So
Yeah.
I mean, I might like 4 of Rihanna's songs.
Yeah.
I mean, she's pretty funny in that one movie where she punches not John Cena,
John Malkovich
in the face. Anyway, all right, where were we with that? So Jalen Hurts does have the chance to throw one Hail Mary, but he slips. That's what happens.
Oh.
That's why it went way short. And
He lost his footing.
because of the damn turf.
They overwatered it.
They needed a water boy out there.
They needed to do a soak and cycle rather than just
They rushed the job.
They rushed it.
Yeah. I did rewatch that throw, and of course you can't know for sure because the ball's going up and they see it's coming short, so the defenders are coming away from who they were guarding. But man, Dallas Goedert was right there in the middle of the field. Like, I think that's who he was going for.
I bet it was, because how many throws earlier in the first
Dallas
quarter
Goedert,
did he just some kind of do?
Just boom, I got it, no problem. Let's get back into the game.
It went through a guy. I think I saw that go through a guy's chest. It was like, what? That made no sense.
Yeah.
But he caught it.
Yeah. That. Of course, he was still, like they say in Ocean's 11, you're still in the middle of the freaking desert. He was still 50-yard line,
Exactly.
so it was still a long way to go. And he's not the most, like, nimble guy, but of course there's going to be a bunch of, flea flicking and stuff going on. But, oh well. Kansas City Chiefs, congratulations.
Yep. Congrats.
I avoided the priest that called me out Super Bowl Sunday today. I couldn't talk to him yet.
Just wasn't ready.
So what happened, we're sitting in church and Father Freschel, a big time Kansas City Chiefs fan, is up on the pulpit and he's talking about, now sin makes you dumb. If you keep sinning, you just keep getting dumber and dumber. I mean, imagine being a Philadelphia Eagles fan and immediately looks right at me. That's the most serious face. I'm like, oh, you son of a... And then Theo, I didn't know this, but because that was oh yeah, Theo was standing up holding that natty.
Oh my gosh.
So I really needed that win. I needed to come back to church with a damn flag or something.
Kidding.
But anyway, that wraps it up for the game. We have one last segment here. The Kelce Brothers at New Heights like to do no dumb questions next, but since we're kind of doing the reverse thing, we have no smart questions. So I have a couple questions here. Did you make any wagers on the bet, or did you bet on this game?
I did not.
Wagers? No,
not much of a gambler.
No, me neither.
The classic line: I work too hard for my money.
Yeah,
But I just never got into it.
So being the only, or let me say, one of 6 Eagles fans in Lincoln.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure every other person in Nebraska is a Chiefs fan.
Well, as of Super Bowl Sunday.
Well, now they are.
Because I'll tell you what, Kelce and I went to the grocery store. I don't remember what we were doing, but the amount of Chiefs gear that you would see.
Oh, really?
And of course, her as a Raiders fan, just really irked her. Because she's
they would never do this.
They never wear it. That's a brand new shirt. They're not real fans.
Yeah. I did make one little bet.
Nice.
With one of Theo's basketball friends.
Okay. Making bets with kids.
He brought it to me. He brought it up to me. This was right in church again, making bets in the chapel.
Jeez.
Exactly what Jesus didn't want.
Yeah, he's going to be throwing over tables.
He's going to be throwing tables. Well, no, little Jacob's like, I bet you $100. I'm like, get out of here, kid. And his mom's like, thanks, because that's my money. And I'm like, I know. But I did say, how about if the loser has to run a lap at the next basketball practice.
Nice.
And sure enough, I walked into that gym and he's like, you owe me a lap. And I'm like, we have a good memory. Because I totally forgot about it.
Oh, yeah. Well, those kids, they'll remember. I guarantee you, he was telling his parents all day. I can't wait till Joe.
I bet you're right. I'm
going to tell him he has to run, and he's going to do it.
I'll get him. I'll show him. I'll get him back. Yeah, so that's the only bet I had. My other smart question is, I guess more for my wife, like, or for me, I'm so glad we did not book that Disney World trip. So, as the Eagles were winning every game in the season, my wife Lexi's like, buy the tickets, because the last time the Eagles were in the Super Bowl, they won, and we happened to be in Disney World and happened to go to Magic Kingdom the next day. We got to see Nick Foles in the parade. It was amazing.
Yeah. That worked out.
Like, oh my God, it was so cool. So now she's like, they're going to do it again. Buy the ticket, buy the ticket, buy the ticket. I even looked it up, like, if it's feasible. There's no way we can't even afford it without going into our savings. So, like, no, I wasn't really thinking about it. But then guess what? Guess where this...
They went to Disneyland.
They went to Disneyland.
What was that about?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. The Chiefs did end up winning it.
Yeah.
Just send them to Disneyland.
So thank God I didn't buy the tickets. Even if they won, Jalen Hurts could have gone to Disneyland and we would have been standing there with our flags like, where's the parade?
What? Oh my gosh, that'd be terrible.
Pretty ridiculous.
Also, let's just go ahead and flash back to when you guys did win and when we were at Disney. What a fantastic time, guys. You know, we get into Disney, Super Bowl Sunday. We are checking in. Of course, we're having difficulties checking in because it's just a fantastic vacation. Why not?
Very busy.
Have a hiccup when you first get there. And so we finally get into the bar area to watch the game. And it's a family zone. We got kids... the classic kids just throwing pool balls on the table.
Yeah, mom and dad don't want to cough up the corners.
Absolutely not.
They're distracted.
And the Eagles are playing their heart out. And what happens? Something bad. And Joseph's over here just cursing his brains out. Like, you got that one father just... and then the mom like, you gonna talk to him? It's like, no, it's an Eagles fan. He'll kill me. So that was a great memory.
I'm sure they experienced it before. I didn't say any words their parents haven't said.
Well, the best was Dad was there, and he was just watching it, and then the guys were like, look at me, look at Dad, and he's like... Just ride it through.
It'll be over soon enough. Is that why all the Patriots were leaving? I thought it was because the Eagles were doing so good.
They were fearing for their life.
All the Eagles parents were saying the same shit. Like, oh, thank God he's saying it. Oh my gosh. I guess I can say I've been an Eagles fan. I should say I've only been an Eagles fan for just over a decade. So I didn't get to see them lose in 2004 with Donovan McNabb and Coach Andy Reid. So this was my first Eagles Super Bowl loss. So, you know, I don't know what my emotions are going to feel. I didn't know it was going to feel like someone I love died. And I don't know how to work through this.
So at the end of the night, you were outside on the pole, but just rubbing it. We're going through this together.
That's the closest friend I have. Why are you so greasy?
It's okay.
Which is something I say to a lot of my friends. But yeah,
we're really getting Horacek on a good showering routine.
Yeah,
his hygiene is turning.
You
around.
saw that? Yeah, I think
I
summer has a lot to do with it too. But,
yes, yeah.
But yeah, so it was weird. I planned on celebrating a victory, and then you have to adjust your thinking and understand how to go on living without what you planned.
Just call the sign people, say, hey, I'm gonna have to cancel the yard signs.
Cancel the yard signs. Cancel the fireworks. Forget the cake. Send the puppy I had bought for the kids back.
I understand the return policy of his death.
Yeah.
I didn't win.
He doesn't have to be still named Swoop. They can rename him. I don't care. But yeah, so it was a heck of a game. Heck of a game. And that's something else. Like, I know the Eagles and I both say you can't focus on one play because that's not how life works.
No.
And there's a lot of plays to think about, like where we messed up here, we could have done this differently here. But rewatching it, there were so many fabulous, amazing plays.
Yes.
That is like, wow, this is exactly why we're here. And if you're going to start nitpicking the bad ones, don't do that. Start rejoicing the good ones, because it was Dallas Goddard alone. Holy,
yeah, he really came out and played that day. I mean, Eagles O-line, everything was.
I was
good
amazed
football.
that how well the Kansas City's O-line was. We couldn't touch Mahomes at all.
Yes,
The only time we did,
he
was scrambling. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was something else. So props to you guys there.
Yep.
It's because you're watching.
Man, but I will then again touch again on just, you know, the whole chest play of football. You know, the call when pass interference call of Mahomes. You know, like kudos to him. You know, he's got the IQ for that, to see that, to get that called. But man, you know, talk about just cheap play.
Let him play.
Yeah.
Like, I know, and how noble is that? Damn it.
Cheap plays. Oh, yeah.
Whoever made that that foul on holding, for him to come out and admit it and like, no, he should have called it.
Yeah.
Because it did happen. However, I don't think it really should have been called, because the refs weren't calling anything like that all games. So for it to happen at such a critical play, for such a minor grab, that's a little frustrating.
Yeah.
But you can't think about the one thing.
No.
All right. Unless if you have any more no smart questions.
Yeah, I don't think I got it.
Okay. We can move on to the very final segment of one last question.
Cool.
And this is something I was kind of thinking about. I'll just ask it and then I'll back up my thought process. Do you think Travis Kelce could have handled losing the Super Bowl?
I mean, you know, say what you want. No, I don't think he would have. I think he would have went into a deep depression. You know, but I'm gonna judge a book by his cover. You know, he's a pretty boy. He looks like he's still having a lot of fun. You know, in my personal, I'm only 32, but I feel like I'm a lot more mature than he is, and that he acts like a 21-year-old. And I think that, just watching him and his brother on their podcast, and of course now I can't remember what his brother's first name is. Jason. He's much more mature.
Yeah.
And
I was thinking about this and kind of thinking about us too, but I mean there's some shitty older brothers out there, but it sounds like Jason's a pretty good one. Mm-hmm. And I would relate with that only because of things you've told me, not tooting my own horn here, but what Dalton said, that I might have some good character and can bring him up and whatnot. And Travis had said the same kind of stuff about Jason, that he's basically followed him in his footsteps to become a football player, because whatever Jason would do, Travis would want to do and idolize. And thinking as an older brother, if your younger brother, like you can't, if he were to lose, Jason wouldn't be able to go celebrate and do anything. No. He'd have to be there to console
supporting him
and support.
Absolutely.
So I do think it was a little better for their two situation that Jason would be able to take that hit and like understand and cope with it. Yep. And here's something else, that never believe anything you read on the damn internet. The very first thing, and I laughed, I love it, it's a great joke, but you have to understand, it's a joke. ESPN says this is the quote that Jason told Travis after the Super Bowl. Fuck you, congratulations. That was spread all over the internet. Very funny, like very, very humorous.
Yeah.
And it's believable because I can see brothers doing that. We would probably say that to each other.
100%.
But no, did they put it straight that Jason was like, no, I said something like, love you, congratulations, now go celebrate with your team. Like, don't worry about me. Get out there, have a good time. And so, I think that's hilarious. But don't believe what you read on TV. or the internet. And the same thing. Maybe I shouldn't even bring this up, but what was the Bills player that got hit and almost died and was in the hospital? DeMar. When DeMar Hamlin got hit, very, very sad, very scary. Thank God he's doing well, and we saw him on the Super Bowl. But there was a post that his first words was, "Who won the game?" Bullshit. No, he was probably like, "What the hell happened?" Like, and then the doctor was smart enough to be like, "You won the game. You won the game of life." No, that's such script. Like, that's just internet bullshit.
Yes.
I wish it would have happened, and I'm sure, maybe he's like, "Hey, where am I? You won the game of life." Like, what?
Yeah. That's something got a little construed. Well, you won.
Yeah.
Won what?
What?
Life.
Where
You're
am
still
I?
alive. Congratulations.
Yeah. So I'm just throwing out there. DeMar, message me privately if you did ask that first when you woke up, but I'm calling a little internet BS there.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that will do it for us today. Unless if you have any final thoughts.
I don't have much final thoughts. Let's see. The Eagles lost. Bunch of garbage players out there.
Next week's tune in while we review the last game of the Dallas Cowboys. All right. Well, till then, good night.
Man, this Acres Ale is delicious.
All right. You gonna drive me to my son's basketball game?
Only if I can meet that kid that made you run.
No, Jacob? Yeah, you'll know who he is.